Title: Most people waste summer kitchen scraps. Soldier fly plus duck system cuts feed costs 80%. Hook: You're throwing away feed money every summer. All those watermelon rinds, melon guts, plate scrapings, and coffee grounds, they rot, stink, pull in flies and rats, and you still pour pellets for your ducks like nothing changed. 6 ducks eat about 2 pounds of pellets a day. In summer, that's the easiest 2 pounds you could replace, but most people miss it and pay for it anyway. The problem isn't you, it's the system you were taught. You were told compost the scraps and buy feed. That splits your protein and your money into 2 different piles. In warm weather, that's backwards. Here's the system that stitches those piles together and cuts duck feed 80% in summer. Core problem:
Summer kitchen scraps are wet and protein-rich. Tossed in a compost heap, they go anaerobic, stink, and attract pests. Meanwhile, ducks get pellets instead of the free protein you just buried. You lose twice: bad composting and full-price feed. The scrap stream: Stop sending the wet slop to the compost pile. Split your scraps in summer. Fibrous browns, woody prunings, and thick stalks go to compost. All the wet, smelly, protein-rich stuff, fruit guts, plate leftovers, dairy traces, meat bits, bread, coffee grounds, goes to one place, a black soldier fly BSF bin. That single decision diverts protein from rot to ducks. Breeder bin: Open buckets of scraps are housefly factories. You're basically running a buffet for the wrong insect. BSF want an enclosed, shaded, warm bin with smell but not open access. Build or buy a sloped bin with a tight lid and side vents for airflow, an internal feeding area, a smooth ramp leading up and out, a small exit chute.
When the BSF larvae hit the prepupal stage, they crawl up the ramp and out through the chute. Place a catch tray at the end. They self-harvest. No screens full of maggots. No swarms. Minimal smell when managed right. And almost no houseflies. Wrong habitat for them. Right habitat for soldier flies. Moisture/carbon. Overfeed a bin with wet slop and no browns, and it turns to soup. That's when you get the stink. You keep it clean and fast by adding shredded cardboard as your carbon. Think pizza boxes, egg cartons, shipping boxes. Tear or shred it. Mix with scraps until the bed feels like a wrung-out sponge. Not dripping, not dusty, just springy and damp. That carbon creates air pockets, so the biology stays aerobic. Aerobic means heat and speed. Anaerobic means stink and pests. You control which one you get. Placement: Don't park the bin in a forgotten corner. Mount it right by the duck run, with the ramp exit over a small trough or tray they can reach through the fence. Every time the bin overflows larvae, they drop to the catch tray. Ducks collect. You don't carry a thing. Feeding rhythm: Your kitchen doesn't make scraps on a schedule, but BSF thrive on rhythm. Here's how you smooth it. Dump your occasional huge loads of slop into the compost pile or a pre-holding bucket. Each afternoon, portion a smaller feed into the BSF bin. Maintain a 3 to 5 inch deep active bed of mixed scraps and shredded cardboard. Keep the bottom drained. If you see leachate pooling, open a drain or tilt the bin to let it run off. Wet sludge drowns air. Air is everything. That rhythm turns random scraps into a steady daily flow of larvae. Why it works: biology and logic. Black soldier fly adults don't eat. Their job is to mate and lay eggs. They're drawn to the smell of decomposing material, but they prefer a protected cavity to lay in. Corrugated cardboard, little crevices around the feeding zone, under a lid. You give them a shaded, vented, warm bin with the right smell, and they'll choose it every time. The eggs hatch into larvae. Larvae do the work. They're shredders. They grind wet, protein-heavy waste at high speed, especially between 80 and 95 degrees Fahrenheit. That's your summer window in zone 7 to 10. Below 60 degrees Fahrenheit, they shut down. So you use season logic, not a calendar. When nights hold above 60 degrees Fahrenheit, the engine runs. When they drop, the engine idles. As the larvae mature, they shift from feeding to "I need out of here" to pupate. Their bodies darken. They become prepupae. That change comes with a crawling instinct. Smooth, dry ramps are irresistible highways. They climb, find the exit, and drop. You don't have to sift or scoop. They harvest themselves. Because the bin is lidded with vents, and because BSF larvae heat and acidify the substrate slightly, houseflies lose. They want open, wet, and still. You're running enclosed, aerated, and competitive. The stink goes away when the bin is aerobic and drained. Shredded cardboard keeps oxygen in the mix. Wrung sponge moisture keeps the microbes hot and fast. Shade prevents overheating. Biology does the rest. Placed by the duck run, that biology becomes a loop. Afternoon is perfect. Ducks are alert. The day warm the bin. Larvae are migrated. They drop. Ducks eat. Protein goes straight from your sink to your flock without you buying pellets or carrying buckets. The loop. Summer warmth plus steady scraps turns a small BSF hold into an exploding colony. When the bin is at cruising speed, you see daily overflow.
Daily larvae means ducks are actually full. They eat fatty, protein-rich grubs first. Pellets become a top-off, not the main course. Your pellet use drops hard. The cash you don't pour into pellets, that funds more beds, more mulch, more fruit trees. Those beds and trees raise your summer harvest. More harvest equals more kitchen scraps. More kitchen scraps feed a bigger BSF population the following summer. Bigger population equals more daily larvae. The loop tightens each season you run it. In plain numbers, you can feel this loop. Numbers that make it real. Rule of thumb, 4 pounds of mixed summer scraps in an active BSF bin gives you about 1 pound of fresh larvae. Your mileage varies with temperature and how you manage moisture and carbon. 6 ducks eat roughly 2 pounds of pellets per day. In warm weather, larvae can replace 1.5 to 1.8 pounds of that. Pellets drop to a maintenance sprinkle.
Fresh larvae run around 36% protein with a lot of fat. Great summer energy. Dried, they hit the 35 a 45% protein, but the system I'm showing you feeds them fresh, daily, with zero drying time. BSF run hot between 80 a los 95 de grados Fahrenheit. Under 60 degrees Fahrenheit, they stall. Shade keeps the bin in the ideal zone during heat waves. A DIY sloped bin with a lid, vents, and a ramp costs $46 in totes, fittings, mesh, and a catch tray. Mounting on the run fence is just a couple brackets or a shelf. Cut 80% of summer feed and you save about $15 to $30 per month for 6 ducks. That's every warm month, rolling into trees, tools, or more soil. Season notes. Zones de 7 a 10. Plan on late spring through early fall as your main run. Shade the bin. Vent it. Afternoon feedings. You'll sit in the 80 a 95 de grados Fahrenheit engine room for weeks at a time.
Cooler than Zone 7. Your window is shorter. Aim for peak summer. Don't fight spring-fall lows under 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Let the colony wind down. Pick back up next summer. Hotter than Zone 10 or very humid, give extra shade, big vents, and more cardboard. Keep that wrung sponge feel. If the bin smells, you need more air and more carbon, not less feed. Simple build guidance. Don't overcomplicate it. Any sturdy tote, barrel, or plywood box can be your body. Keep it about knee-high so you can mount it at run height. Cut vents high on the sides and cover with fine mesh. Lid stays on to keep rain and pests out. Install a smooth internal ramp at a gentle angle leading to a 1 to 2 inch exit tube. Keep the ramp dry and clean so prepupae climb. Put a small tray or gutter under the exit, just inside duck reach. They'll learn the drop time fast. Feeding rhythm in practice.
Morning. Check moisture. Squeeze a handful. If it drips, add cardboard and mix. If it crumbles, mist lightly. Drain any leachate. Tilt if needed. Afternoon. Add a small portion of scraps, mix with shredded cardboard, keeping the bed to 3 to 5 inches deep. Close the lid. Walk away. Evening. Watch the ramp and catch tray. Ducks do the rest. What to expect in week 1 versus week 4. Week 1 looks slow. You're recruiting adults and giving them a place to lay. If you already have soldier flies in your area, and in zones 7 to 10 you do, they'll find the bin in days. If not, borrow a scoop of active BSF larvae from a friend or a local farm stand's bin to seed it. By week 3 to 4, with summer heat steady, the bin goes from some grubs to overflow daily. That's when you'll see pellet use drop. Track it. Don't starve ducks on day 1. Let the larva flow replace pellets naturally as the bin ramps up.
Common mistakes to skip. Open buckets. That's housefly school, not a BSF bin. Soup, substrate. If it squelches, you're feeding too wet and too much. Add cardboard, drain, and portion. Hiding the bin far from the run. If you have to carry grubs, you won't. Mount by the run and let gravity pay you. Rigid calendars. Use temperature. Above 60 degrees Fahrenheit nights, feed the bin. Below that, let it rest. Start this week. Simple steps. Gather gear. 1 lidded tote or small barrel, a bit of smooth board or plastic for a ramp, a short exit tube, mesh for vents, a catch tray. Budget $40 to $80. Shred carbon. Fill a bag with torn cardboard and egg cartons. This is your oxygen. Place the bin. Shaded spot honored just outside the duck run. Mount it so the exit drops into a small tray ducks can reach. Prime the bed. Mix a couple inches of shredded cardboard with a small starter of old compost or a handful of chicken or duck manure for smell. Moisten to wrung sponge. Feed rhythm. Each afternoon this week, add a small portion of your wet kitchen scraps mixed with shredded cardboard. Keep total depth 3 to 5 inches. Drain any leachate. Watch temps. To 80 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit is the sweet spot. Shade holds it. Below 60 degrees Fahrenheit at night, don't expect much. Track pellets. Note how much you put out now. In 3 to 4 weeks of heat, count again. The difference is your cash. The problem isn't you, it's the system you were taught. You were told to compost all scraps and buy all feed. In warm weather, the biology wants to do both jobs at once. Give it the right bin, the right moisture, the right placement, and it pays you daily. Feed scraps to grubs, not the garbage. Let ducks harvest, you harvest savings. Feed scraps to grubs, not the garbage. Let ducks harvest, you harvest savings.